I didn't know the woods were private. That's the first thing I tell people when they ask why I didn't turn back sooner, why I kept walking when every instinct in my body was telling me I was somewhere I didn't belong. In Montana, forests don't usually have fences. They don't need them. I learned that too late.
Chapter 1. The Path. I moved to the area for work. Temporary contract, 6 months. Network installation for rural clinics. The kind of job where you drive a lot, talk to almost no one, and spend your evenings in places that close at 8. I rented a small house outside a town so small it barely qualified as one. One grocery store, one bar, no traffic lights, no police station, just a sheriff's office 20 miles out. The landlord told me one thing when I signed the papers.
Don't wander too far into the woods.
He said it casually, like advice about weather. I laughed and asked why. He shrugged.
People get turned around.
That was it. No warning, no story. I grew up hiking. I'm not reckless. I carry water, a phone, a basic kit. I don't chase sunsets or pretend I'm invincible. That Saturday afternoon, I just wanted air. I parked my car near a dirt turnout and followed a narrow trail into the trees. No sign saying private property, no gate, no marker, just forest. Pine, dirt, silence. The farther I walked, the quieter it got, but not in a peaceful way, in a way that felt intentional, like sound was being held back. After about 20 minutes, I noticed something strange. The trail was still there, but it no longer felt like a trail people used. The ground was packed too hard, leaves pressed flat, no recent footprints, no broken twigs. It looked maintained. That's when I saw the first ribbon, bright orange, tied around a branch at eye level. I stopped. In Montana, ribbons mean survey markers or hunting boundaries. I looked for writing, numbers, anything. There was nothing, just the ribbon. I told myself it was old, left over, nothing to worry about. I kept walking.
Chapter 2. Markers. 10 minutes later, I saw another ribbon. Same height, same knot. Then another, always on the right side of the trail. That's when my phone lost service. Not unusual, but the timing stuck with me. I checked the time, 4:12 p.m. Still plenty of daylight. I told myself I'd walk 10 more minutes, then turn around. That's when I heard the sound. Not a branch snapping, not wind. Footsteps behind me. I stopped. They stopped too. I waited. Nothing. I told myself it was an echo, my own movement catching up in the quiet. I took a step forward. So did the sound. Same rhythm, same spacing. Too close. I turned around. The trail behind me was empty, but the silence felt wrong now. Heavy, pressed tight. That's when I noticed something I should have noticed earlier. The ribbons weren't just on one side anymore. They were on both, marking a corridor. I didn't turn back right away, and that decision still bothers me because part of me didn't want to admit I was scared. Part of me didn't want to look stupid over nothing. I kept walking. The footsteps came again, closer this time, not rushing, not hiding, just following.
Chapter 3. No trespassing. I called out, "Hello?" The word didn't travel. It fell flat, like I'd spoken into fabric. No answer. I turned around again. Still nothing. But the trail behind me looked different, narrower. I don't mean metaphorically. I mean the space between the trees had changed. I stood there, staring, trying to understand how a path I'd just walked could suddenly feel unfamiliar. That's when the footsteps stopped entirely, and something else replaced them. Breathing, not heavy, not panicked, measured. Close enough that I could hear the pause between inhale and exhale. I didn't turn around this time. I knew that if I did, I would see someone standing too close. I started walking faster. The breathing followed, not matching my pace, letting me go just far enough to stay calm. That's when I saw the sign. It was nailed to a tree I hadn't noticed before. Old wood, hand-painted letters. Sign, no trespassing, private land, turn back. The paint was fresh, the letters were straight, someone maintained this. I stopped. The breathing stopped too. Behind me, a voice spoke, low, calm. Don't. Not shouted, not threatening, just instructive. That was the moment I understood something important. This wasn't about getting lost. This was about being allowed.
Chapter 4. The Man. I turned around. He stood less than 10 feet away. Middle-aged, beard, baseball cap pulled low, hands empty, no weapon visible. He looked normal. That made it worse.
You shouldn't be here.
I'm sorry. I didn't know this was private. I'm turning around. He watched me for a long second, then he smiled. It wasn't friendly, it was assessing.
People always say that. Problem is, most of them don't leave when they should.
I'm leaving now. I took a step back. He didn't move.
Slow, fast makes me nervous.
I nodded and forced my body to obey. One step, then another. He walked with me, not beside me, behind me, close enough that I could smell tobacco on his clothes. We walked like that for a minute, then two. I could see the trail widening ahead, the trees thinning. Relief crept in. That's when he spoke again.
You alone?
I'm yes.
You tell anyone where you went?
I didn't. He hummed softly. That's good. I stopped walking. So are we done? I tried to sound calm. He leaned closer.
No. Now you listen.
Chapter 5. Consequences. Now you listen, he repeated. His voice was calm, not aggressive. That was what made it dangerous. People who shout want a reaction. People who speak quietly have already decided what happens next.
You went farther than you should have, and I can't just pretend that didn't happen.
I swallowed. I understand. I'll leave. I won't come back. He smiled.
Everyone says that.
He stepped closer. The space behind me shrank. The trees felt tighter, closer together. The trail seemed narrower than it had a minute ago.
Do you know how many people wander in here every year with phones, with cameras, with that stupid confidence that the woods belong to everyone?
I didn't answer.
Some folks think no fence means permission.
He tilted his head.
But fences are for people who are afraid to warn others.
That's when I understood he wasn't just guarding land. He was enjoying this. I really didn't know. I work nearby. I live in town.
Address?
In town. His smile widened.
So you're alone. No family close. No neighbors who'd notice right away.
Cold crept up my spine. I just want to leave. He nodded.
So do I. But first, I need to know you understand.
Chapter 6. The Short Way. He pointed not toward the trail.
Go that way.
That's not the way out.
It's shorter. If you go back the way you came, someone might see you. I don't like witnesses.
That was the moment all doubt disappeared. This wasn't a strange landowner. This was a man who controlled space and the people inside it. I'm not going that way. He didn't get angry. He sighed.
And that's why we have problems.
He said it like he was explaining something to a child. He stepped closer. I stepped back and felt bark press into my spine.
Listen carefully. I don't touch people who behave properly.
He looked straight into my eyes.
But if you make this difficult, I won't rush.
Are you threatening me? He shrugged.
I'm explaining consequences.
In that moment, I understood something final. He was not going to let me go quickly.
Chapter 7. Run. I did something I hadn't planned. I ran. It was stupid, I knew it. The woods aren't a place to sprint, especially when you don't know where you're going, but fear is a bad strategist. I bolted sideways between the trees, snapping branches, tripping over roots. My heart slammed in my ears. Air tore at my lungs. I expected shouting, a gunshot, pursuit. Nothing. That scared me more. I ran until my legs burned, and then stopped, gasping, and turned around. The forest stood still. Silence returned. I stood there, trying to figure out where I was. The trail was gone. The ribbons were gone. I pulled out my phone. No signal. The compass app spun uselessly. Then I heard his voice again.
You got tired too fast.
He stood to my left, not out of breath, not even sweating.
I told you I don't like running.
My chest tightened. How did you?
I live here. You don't.
He stepped forward.
Now you'll go where I told you.
I understood then. If I ran again, he'd catch me. If I fought, the woods wouldn't care. I nodded.
Chapter 8. His place. He walked first. I followed. We moved deeper into the trees, but a path appeared again, narrow, barely visible, like it was meant for one person at a time. After a few minutes, I saw a structure, not a house, more like a shelter. An old trailer, half buried in the ground. A generator, fuel cans, cameras mounted on trees. This was a lived-in place. He stopped.
Stand there. Lower your hands. Slowly.
I did.
You see, people think danger is sudden, shouting, violence.
He looked at me.
But real danger is time. When someone has time to do whatever they want with you.
My throat tightened. I didn't do anything.
Exactly. That's why you still have a chance.
He stepped closer.
You'll turn around now. Walk straight. Don't look back. You won't tell anyone where you were. You'll forget this forest.
He leaned in.
Because if you come back with someone, I won't talk.
I nodded too fast. Yes, I swear. He studied me, then stepped aside.
Go.
Chapter 9. The Exit. I walked. I didn't run. Every step felt too loud. I expected him to call out, to shoot, to grab me. Nothing happened. The forest slowly changed. Light filtered in. The air felt thinner. I reached the road. My car. It sat exactly where I'd left it. I got in and locked the doors. My hands shook so badly I couldn't start the engine right away. When it finally turned over, I drove off without checking the mirror.
Chapter 10. Unplanned. I didn't go to the police. Not because he scared me into silence, but because I understood something. I had no proof, no threats, no weapon, no witnesses. Just a man, a forest, and fear. I moved a month later. 6 months after that, I read a news article. Human remains found in remote wooded area near private land. Investigation ongoing. No names, no details. I closed the article. Sometimes at night, I still think about it. He let me go, not because he was kind. He let me go because I wasn't planned. And that is the most terrifying thing I learned in those woods.
Epilogue. If you think people like that are rare, you're wrong. They just choose places where no one looks. And if someone ever tells you, don't go in there, and you don't see a fence, believe them. The fence is already there. It's just not meant for you.